The images you see of planes on the runway, people on the runway, and two people just dropped from the plane. You will never take that chance. You will never leave the land unless the air is safer. It just was literally like those video games that people create of war zones, and honestly, it happened so quick that people had no way to prepare for their escape. My family was at the passport office in order to trying to get their passports and leave, apply for visa, Indian visa, but they had to rush out that day, and my disabled brother was literally on the street with kids and trying to walk and run. And my family was also trying to even go to the airport in the same way, and the same, and they left and they returned halfway because they saw Taliban shooting people right in front of their eyes. So they escaped back and came home. And so that's the last resort you take when those bullets are safer than what's going to come next. Now we see that embassies trying to evacuate their people, and the very first ones that they evacuated were foreigners. And while knowing that the very first ones who are going to be a target are the local staff, their family members, and everyday people.
Our mission in Afghanistan was never supposed to have been nation building. It was never supposed to be creating a unified, centralized democracy. Our only vital national interest in Afghanistan remains today what it has always been: preventing a terrorist attack on America's homeland.
If you think about 9/11, Afghans had nothing to do with 9/11. An invasion of a country that had nothing to do. Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden was hiding in Pakistan, not in Afghanistan. And so it was flawed from the get-go. And right now, abandonment of Afghanistan is the failure of also democracies, because these international communities that were going into Afghanistan, they went with the promise of democracy and freedom, especially freedom of women and those who have been marginalized. And now leaving those same women at the hand of a monster and in the mouth of a shark is quite astonishing. How would you collaborate with a group that you have continuously labeled as terrorists, and now they have become your collaborators? And in that collaboration, you're putting the lives of 37 million people at risk, and that these lives could be ended any day and any moment.
we saw that the situation in Afghanistan in relation to the US presence was quickly, on its way out. And so we knew that there was going to be a need for advocacy. We knew that the US was not going to leave in good faith, as we've seen now with the catastrophic levels of chaos in Afghanistan, the fact that the Taliban took over in a matter of days. Number one is definitely to open the doors to refugees, regardless of having the credentials, passport, whatever, that now is not the time for that. So we're asking folks and honestly begging folks to reach out to the representatives. We have a call script that says and outlines exactly what you need to say, that calls for all of these things that we're talking about, and to pressure your representative.
I was reflecting back on my visit. It was last month when I came, and what really, really pained me was that I was trying to process on the plane that everybody I hugged and said goodbye, my loved ones, my family, my queer community. They would also always tell me that, give me one more hug. When you return back to Afghanistan, I may or may not be here. And I was thinking about that, and now I know what they meant. So it's really painful to know that those people I really loved, and they were so beautiful with such generous hearts, now are literally living hour by hour, and they have no idea whether they're going to live tomorrow. Let's not talk about Biden. Let's not talk about what policy worked and what policy didn't work. We all know it all failed. Let's talk about the individuals. Let's talk about the stories of those women and children and men in Afghanistan, and queer people and trans people who are literally waiting for their death.